So we are going to be throwing off the hump. We're going to be throwing your lid. We already have the measured interior. So I'm just going to get this ready. So I'm just going to cone this upward and make it nice and on center. And now I'm going to be throwing my lid. When you throw your lid, you're throwing them upside down. So the top of your lid gets trimmed. The bottom of your lid is actually what you're going to be throwing. So that's the width that we're going to need. So to get started, you're going to be starting just like you start everything else, throwing off the hump. Make an indentation. Okay. Act that as the base of your wheel head. And now I'm going to be opening this edge. And I don't really need to go very deep, maybe just about an inch. And I'm going to pull this open. I'm going to start to check my width. Now this is going to be relatively wide. So when I check my width, I need to pull this out a little bit wider. The outside edges of this little cylinder needs to be as wide as your calipers here. So I need to keep pulling this out. Just keep it compressed. We can always trim this top if we need to, if it's way too long. So I'm just going to just another little bit. All right, that should be good. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing, this is the part that's going to be going inside of your lidded vessel. So the top, I'm actually just going to, I'm going to do it with the top. I'm just going to kind of pop it out a little bit wider by just pinching underneath. I'm going to make this somewhat wider than the cylinder on top because this is the area that's going to go inside. And you're going to be able to trim these to shape and trim them how you would like them to go. Or my toggle wires went, I'm not sure. Here they are. I'm going to take this down a little bit. It doesn't need to be this long. Just set nice and straight. Okay, and then I have my lid. So I'm just going to cut this off like this. So this is what's going to be going on the inside of my vessel. And then when you flip it over, this is going to be your top. So you're actually going to be trimming the top off like this and then adding your handle on top. Put that with the other one. Just gonna, yeah.
We good?
Nope. Now, that's your lid. Say you're working on a teapot. You still have this whole mound of clay. You now want to make your spout. All right, all your spout is a very narrow cylinder. So just take your clay, pull it up, you're on center, make an indentation, okay, and just give a pull. Your spout doesn't need to be super long. Okay, get it nice and thin. Find your base. Now you can cut this off with the base on. You'll eventually have to cut that interior out or else water's not going to be able to pour through. And then you have a spout. And that's all the throwing for the 4th marking period. Cheers.